Here's another thing. When did you realize that you got to a point where you were making something that wasn't just for you? Because you had your use case, right? But as you added more things into it, I'm sure there are parts of the app that you don't use maybe actively today, maybe you use at some point, but it's not part of your core workflow. You could, if that wasn't part of the project, you could completely live without it. So when did you realize that you were sort of building something for more than just yourself, that clearly other people were getting something else out of it?
Mm. Yeah, I think when I restarted receiving feedback about like personal emails,
Mm.
or also like longer post just mentioning not mentioning a bug or something, but just saying like, oh, that's really cool. I
Mm.
can't pin it down
Sure,
in
sure.
when that started to happen, but um, yeah, probably I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 years in or something like that.
Mm.
But that was yeah, that was the moment I think I realized it, and um, yeah, also I think back then beginning at least, I was also hoping that this might become the thing I can work on every day.
Mm.
Like I can sustain myself with, and it's it didn't become that, but um, uh, yeah, it's still like there are people using it,
Mm.
and also like it has the advantage if it's like that I feel a little bit less pressured, like it's less work and it's more like a hobby. Like every time I spend time on it, it's because I want to and because I yeah enjoy it. And yeah, there's definitely also some
Mm.
advantages to that, I'd say.
Mm. And that sort of leads into the discussion around project funding. And I've talked to a lot of
Mm.
project developers about this. With what this project is, right? I don't think anyone would be surprised if you were charging for it. From what I
Yeah,
can see, it seems like that's the way that a lot of things go. Either it is paid from the start, or there is a additional paid premium tier.
Mm.
What are your?
yeah,
I know you don't have that. What are your thoughts on that, and where do you sort of think about funding?
yeah. There are donations, but it is not enough to live from, at least not in Germany where I'm located.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, and also like with this whole AI wave, like it's for programmers, everything got a little bit more complicated. So I thought also like to take it as an opportunity to work on it a little bit more, and but it was always out of question that yeah you can't. It doesn't feel right to make an open source app or an app that was free to make people pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't want. But there have always been like sync has always been a little bit tricky because yeah, it requires a little bit of setup. Like you need a Dropbox account or um, and also like with this file-based things, it works all right. But yeah, like file storage is not really like a technology really built for that. Like you always upload the whole data, and it takes a little bit longer. And yeah, I thought that adding as a sync solution, which works a little bit better for it, could be a way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, always was also always pretty clear that it should be open source, so people can self-host it if they want to. Um, but that this might be a way to, yeah, maybe to make it possible for me to work on it full time, which is, I have to admit, it's still like a thing I'd love to see happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that this could maybe a way to get there.
Mhm.
And yeah, at the moment it's also completely free. It might be like there's also a big warning that it might cost some money in the future. I honestly don't know at the moment when this might be or if at all.
Mm.
But yeah, this could be one way to do it.
Mm.
And yeah, and I think everything else, like having a premium version of the app, uh, having paid for premium microtransaction, this all didn't feel good. And but having like this sync service, which also costs money and which is also is a
Mm.
legal risk to have this user data. Like if you lose it, like people can sue you. I think it's pretty legitimate to say like, okay, for this in particular, it's a service maybe I can't provide for free.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't know where how the whole thing will develop. But yeah, we'll see in the coming months, I guess.
I think sync's one of those things which is like a reasonable thing, especially with if you're just there's other solutions to sync it anyway, right? It's not like you're just like locking users out of the ability of manually syncing stuff if they want to sync it through Dropbox. I think having a integrated hosted solution that someone can pay a bit for, that's totally fine. I think this is actually something that I think Thunderbird had actually been bouncing around that idea for their paid tier. Um, I think that's generally an okay thing. Like like funding is a weird one. I actually had a discussion with it. The podcast I did earlier, I guess it would be yesterday now. The other podcast I did in the last 24 hours, there's a problem in open source where the expected value of a lot of things, and it's a problem and it's a benefit, but the expected value of things is 0. And this creates a situation where obviously there's a lot of charity work done. A lot of people who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford software, wouldn't be able to do all of these amazing things, wouldn't be like, it lets people have these incredibly powerful systems, and you don't have to pay for it. At the same time, there's things that cost money, right? And finding a way that you can fund that, I think ultimately comes like a personal moral question, because a lot of people are totally fine selling a service. A lot of people are fine selling support services, right? Like the Red Hat model. A lot of people are fine just selling just an application to begin with, but I don't think I can really answer this question for anyone else. I think it's one of those things where you have to decide what you are personally comfortable with, and yeah, I think anything that wouldn't have made it into the core project, I think is up for grabs, right? And I know you put out a post a while ago, like 5 months ago, about the idea of paid premium plugins. If these were never going to be things that were built into the project, I'm not personally, like, I don't think it's a bad thing, right?
Mm. Yeah, interesting that you mentioned that, because that was a moment I was a bit surprised, because like in my head I thought, oh yeah, that's cool. I can do stuff I wouldn't do otherwise, because yeah, I don't
Maybe
have the
out of scope
capacity
of the
to.
core application.
Yeah, for example, like yeah, maybe some freelancer tool for that connects to other services or stuff that I wouldn't need myself, and that, but it's still very complicated, but it's such a niche use case that it isn't justified to spend so much time on it,
Right.
and to put the polish on. Also, without being paid for, that would be something like I just can't put the polish in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people were very opposed to the idea.
Mm.
I think also partly because like microtransaction have such a bad yeah there are so many bad examples of it, how to do it, like with especially with gaming, with mobile gaming, and yeah, the whole maybe the whole software as a service thing. So that idea was grabbed, but yeah, it's as you mentioned, it's a little bit of a tricky question, and also a little bit of a yeah, sometimes maybe a little bit yeah, I can't really put it, but like a expectation that something is basically done as something for free, as
Mm.
providing for society, which uh, unfortunately, as our whole system works, will is only something very privileged people, and I, as the freelance programmer, have been very privileged over years to have been able to do something on the side, despite not needing a second job or something like that. And so there's definitely some tension to it, because people yeah, need money in our economy, and that probably won't change anytime soon.
Mm.
But there is a little bit this expectation that it has to be free and morally pure, so to say, maybe.
Mm.
And I don't have any answer to to that at all, but yeah, I find it interesting.
No, it's definitely an interesting philosophical problem to deal with. I think when it comes to, I still think a big part of it is like, who is the target for the feature, right? If you're building some integration with a corporate system, right? I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to charge for that, because if it's something that is only reasonably being used by, you know, programming professionals, for example, people that are actually employed as developers, I don't think it's unreasonable to charge a small fee, because those are people that you know are like, these are not just the average person. Like, this is someone you know is employed in a relatively good job that can afford to spend a bit on well-made professional software, right? You know, if you're operating in I don't know, you're operating in graphic design, right? You're paying ludicrous amounts of money to Adobe. I don't think it's unreasonable, especially if it's like a one-time fee of €5, €10, to have something like that. But
Yeah.
again, it's a matter of like, where do you really stand on this? I personally don't have an issue with it, but at the same time, I can understand why people do.